Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today's video is a speed build of a container home. I found this picture on Google and decided to use it for inspiration. I am here in Port Promise at the lot where the shipping container house was, but I demolished it and I'm going to start fresh building one similar to the one in the picture that I just showed. Okay, I started off by building my shipping containers to the size that I thought they should be. I tried to use the decor ones over on the side there as a guide to how big they should be. I don't really think they're an accurate scale because I ended up changing them later on because in my opinion it was just too hard to decorate them the size that they were. It was like almost nothing fit really the way I wanted it to. And I also noticed in another save when I was visiting Knox and his parents that their shipping containers were a little bit different size than what I envisioned them to be. So that's what gave me the inspiration to come back and eventually resize these containers. Now, I really like this greenhouse on the second floor. I typically use greenhouses in The Sims because I prefer for my harvestables to be grown year round instead of having to worry about what season each one is in. So this greenhouse is definitely something I would use for my Sims. I add some extra things into it. I know I put some vertical planters in there in a little while. And I also add a bee box and a couple of the insect homes or whatever. This build was the first time I've worked with putting the ladders on a build, which is kind of sad when you think about how excited we all were to get ladders, but I've used the ladders in existing builds, but this is the first time I had to place it, and I probably cut out about 5 minutes of me trying to figure out how to place a ladder. It was really bad, and I really couldn't find the windows and the doors that were close enough to what was in the picture, but I think what I ended up selecting works well enough. For the kitchen that I'm getting ready to do right here, I brought the yellow from the container into the kitchen and dining room area and made them yellow as well. This house would not be able to be used off the grid because of the appliances, but I do add the dew collectors and some of the solar panels later on. So you could possibly make enough of your own power and water to keep your bills low. I tried to use completely eco lifestyle pack doors and windows. I think in the kitchen in a little bit I will be putting one base game window, but it was the only one that would fit where I wanted it. I also changed where the front door is. There is a door that leads into the kitchen dining room, but that's not like the main door. The main door is the one that I put on the green container. And also all of the container doors are usable, especially once I expand the containers out. I did move Morgan Ember into this house to play test it, and he did use the yellow door container doors and he's used the green ones. Obviously you can't use the red ones because they are on the second floor and there's no balcony or anything there, so they're technically usable if you add a balcony, but otherwise they're not really usable. I really like the windows that come with Eco Lifestyle. I don't like how bulky they do seem from the outside, but I love the way that they look from the inside. I also added some plants out in front of the container. I was just pulling different ones out to see which ones I liked. I ended up going with these little planter boxes. They were cute. And then eventually I moved that one into the kitchen in a little while, and I put the plants in the the single plant in the living room when I make that. I think I was getting ready to go save it here because I wanted to save it as an empty shell, so I went and took everything out real quick. Well, I saved it full and then I took everything out to save the empty shell. So I may put that on the gallery. I do think I have to go and readjust the sizes of the containers because I didn't save it. This is where I was trying to put the ladder going into the second floor, and I wanted it towards the end, and right now the yellow doors do look unusable, but once the container expands out, it won't look that bad anymore. I also try to use a lot of the eco lifestyle wallpapers and floorings just because this is an eco lifestyle type build, so I wanted to use as many of those items as possible. I did add a third container, or fourth container technically, because the containers were just so small, and that when I went into the red one to make the bedroom and bathroom, there was just no way to fit a bed in there the way that I had it. So I was going to make the blue one the bedroom, because there is only one bedroom and one bathroom in this build. But then eventually when I expanded them out, I realized I didn't need the blue one after all, and I do eventually delete that one. And I really didn't like that it strayed too far away from the original photo. So I was glad that I just expanded them out and made them wider than what they usually were. Okay, this is when I came back after I had taken a break from this and really thought about it. And here I am expanding them out, which made the greenhouse a little bit bigger. So it does look a little bit different than what the picture looks like, but I had to do it for me to decorate the way that I wanted to decorate it. So by this time I had deleted the blue container and I had all the bedroom stuff just sitting outside. And so I'm moving all that in now. And then I will go into lining everything back up with the new size of containers, and I gotta go in and redo the kitchen a little bit. Have to just add some more cabinets and counters. This is where I try to figure out what window to put into the kitchen, and nothing really fit in there. I'd love to have windows by my kitchen sink. I don't know why. It's just a thing, I guess. Okay, so I was trying to figure out what to put on top of the red container to make it a little bit more cohesive, and I didn't know if I was going to make this into an outdoor garden or what I was going to do with it. So right now it's just a fence up there from Eco Lifestyle. Then I was going through and putting in floorings and doing the wall coverings in some of the rooms. Again, trying to stick with the Eco Lifestyle pack items. And then I had to readjust the bathroom where I'd changed the size of the container, added a window, and then decided I was going to eventually start cluttering up the window in a little bit. And I didn't quite know what I wanted to put up there. And I mean, I like for it to look cluttered, used, lived in. So I just put some flowers and candles and bath stuff. So anyway, while I'm finishing up this build, I'm going to talk about how I completed my Sims 4 collection. It's a very common question that gets asked around a lot. Like, show me your collection, and, have you ever won a giveaway for a Sims 4 pack, or just various things. And I honestly did not know that giveaways for Sim 4 packs even existed until probably whenever I started this channel. That's when I found out that those were actually things. I really had never seen it before. So, no, I've never won a giveaway for a Sims 4 pack, and I've never been gifted a pack from anybody. Honestly, I didn't even know that you could do that until not too long ago. When I started playing Sims 4, I was on PlayStation 4. And I have several kids, I mean, teens, preteens, that play Fortnite. So the battle for the PlayStation was a big thing, and I'm the mom, so I always won, and I would probably waste hours of my life playing The Sims. So I decided I was going to buy it for my PC. Well, at that time, Origin was having a sale on base game, and it was about $7.99. So I bought it. So at that point, I've spent $8 on my personal Sims collection. Most of the PlayStation packs were bought by my daughter with her money. So I spent $8 so far on just the base game. And I just continued to play it on PlayStation 4. I never downloaded it or anything because honestly, once I'd been playing with packs, I didn't want to play with just base game. So then last summer, the company Mountain Dew was hosting well, I really wouldn't call it contest or anything, but pretty much you collected bottles of Mountain Dew in the states and it had state names listed on them. And if you collected off 50 states and sent in what they needed you to send in, you would get a $100 gift card. I think you could do it 5 times per person. So I did it twice. And with those 2 gift cards, I bought 4 of the bundle packs, which gave me 4 expansions, 4 game packs, 4 stuff packs. And then I also use apps where you get money and or points you can trade in for gift cards back every time you go to the store. So I use both of those, and I used that money back that goes into my PayPal account or the gift cards, which were like prepaid Visa cards or prepaid MasterCard, depending on which one you chose. And then I used those to get additional packs. And I think the first pack that I bought as soon as it came out was Discovery University, I want to say. No, Realm of Magic. Whichever one of those came out first, I think it was Realm of Magic, was the first one that I bought as soon as it came out. And I think for those, I still used money from apps because my husband also uses one called Upside, where you get a certain amount of money back per gallon of gas that you buy, and he drives a company truck, so he is constantly getting fuel for it. And we've actually used his app alone to buy me several packs, to buy several bundles on Fortnite for my kids, and also to buy his, not digital, but physical copy of NASCAR Heat 4 last year. So we've gotten quite a bit back on that. I think maybe in total, besides base game, I've used my actual cash funds for maybe 2 or 3 packs, if that. I think I did it for Eco Lifestyle and maybe Tiny Living. But other than that, everything else was bought with points for gift cards or things like that that I saved up, so that I technically never lost my money for them or used my money for them. So that's how I did it. And I know not everybody can do it that way, but if it wasn't for that kind of stuff, I probably would not be able to have the entire collection at this point. So now back to my build. I decided to put a little office type area here in the living room container. And I just gave them regular old cheap computer, nothing expensive. I did pull the remote and that notepad out of the debug menu. So there is no CC in this build. I actually had to take my mods folder out of my game to save it, because ever since the update, all of my builds come up as modded, even if I never use CC in them, and the only way to keep them from coming up as modded is to take my mods folder out to save them. So I had to do that, so it will be up as a NoCC build. Now I'm just decorating a little bit, adding in some stuff, looking at some stuff I really had never pulled out and looked at before. And I think that's when I saved it to move Morgan Ember in to check things. And then I went up to the top, and I was still trying to figure out what to put at the top. That red fence did not match. So instead of using a fence, I just put up a half wall, a shorter half wall, and made it the red container type wallpaper. And put a, well, I'll eventually go back up and put a, whatever, what are those called? The half wall things that go on top up there. So now I added a window to the living room area because honestly, I don't think I'd put one in there. And just rearranged some things. It made it look a little bit better. And then I decided to come out and I was going to add like the juicer and all those type things. But I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to add it yet. So I went and built another container in the back. I made that one too big and ended up having to shrink that one down. And in that I put the juicer and the boxes that hold your harvestables in it to keep them in there for the juicer. So you can go out to the container in the back to make your fizzy juices. Almost made it seem like they were making bootleg alcohol or something out there, but I just did that. I ended up shortening up this container as well, and I just went through and kept cluttering up and adding lights and just adding little touches that I'd missed. And then outside I decided to put the florist table, the woodworking bench, after I searched a million times for it, and also the candle making station. And like I said, up in the, well, first I added the ladder to go up there, but then I moved the vertical gardens over and added in 2 of the insect houses and the bee box. And then I added a couple of the, well, after I figure out what light to put above them, then I changed the chair to one of the eco lifestyle lounge chairs just to give it the same feel. And this is where I shrank it down to make it smaller. There's no need for all that extra space. Then I'll put a dew collector and a solar panel and a turbine up on top of the containers. And I added some of these new garden boxes, gave them a bicycle, and then I didn't really want to mess with the ground too much. I wanted to keep it the same dirt feel that seemed to be in Port Promise at the moment. I mean, possibly they could have grass when the eco footprint changes, but for right now, they're just going to have this dirty stone looking ground. And I added a plant from Discovery University out on the front. I was trying to figure out what plant to put in the front. At first I was going to hang the Jungle Adventure plants from the fence area, but I changed my mind, and then I just added these to kind of give it a blocked off feel. And then I put some chairs out front with a little table. I really wanted an umbrella type table, but none of them were working the way that I envisioned it in my head, which seems to always be my case when I'm building. So I ended up just putting a simple end table in between the two. You'll see me here just looking through, trying to figure something out. And I think I was looking for one type of particular chair that I thought that we had, but we apparently did not have. So I just went with these basic outdoor chairs, I believe, because I think they were in the outdoor section. As you can tell, I really could not get the table to work properly like I wanted it to. So I ended up just putting in, like I said, a little end table from the outdoors patio section. And add a little red light to bring in the red beam and some little dirt. And I just started cluttering up around it. I think I put the tire and flowers from that thing. I was playing around with the windows, see if there's any I liked better for the greenhouse, but I just stuck with the ones I liked. I also changed the roof on the greenhouse in a little while. Just going around, looking around, see what else needs to be added, and explaining to myself, I think, what was all in here. I added a dumpster out back. That way, the little eco sim can just go dig in her own dumpster. And then I just went around, and for the record, I did add a baby Yoda hidden somewhere in the completed build, but you never see it in this or any of the screenshots that I will place at the end of this video. So it's in there. It's just, I didn't tell you, I did change the height of the roof on the greenhouse to make it a little bit flatter. And I made a path going from both of the front doors to the road, I guess you would say. And added a mailbox as well over by the green container doors. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this build. I will be adding screenshots at the end. Right now I'm just finishing up with the finishing touches. I had to come back in and add like some rugs and things that I'd forgotten. So I hope you enjoyed this build. Please comment, like, subscribe if you are new here, and I will see you next video. Bye.